So Meghan was recently in Paris at a Balenciaga show, and there's a lot to unpack there because it's more to it than that. There's so much scandal, drama, and a lot of things going on, more than surface level than what we see. But of course, there are some people that only see surface level. But today we're going to talk a lot about that trip to Paris, her new demure, I can't even say that with a straight face. Her new her new demure demeanor, I guess is what I'm trying to say. She was looking like that. Not that manic smile that she usually has whenever she's seen by paparazzi. And it almost seemed like she was kind of like, like zoned out. I don't know, maybe on some type of like, I don't know. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And for those that are part of this community regularly and you actually watch the whole video, thank you so much for doing that, because I am going to get rid of my Meghan complex, and that is inconsistency. That's her problem. That's my problem. I inconsistently post videos. You have no idea when you're going to get something. And honestly, it really kind of goes based on how I feel. And that's not fair to those that give me so much encouraging words and that tell me that they love my content. So it's not fair to you that I just kind of put up things whenever. So that's what I am going to do. Consistently put up content every single week. And if I don't, we'll talk about that later. But I want to jump right in because I don't want to lose the new people. So we're going to talk about Meghan. And so go grab your tea, meet me right back here. Today I'm being a little bit soft on the drink. I'm drinking water. I had a little bit of a stomach bug, so I don't have tea. I have water in a wine glass because I always keep it classy. My water is a little cloudy because it is, I've got lemon in it because I need to settle my stomach. So anyway, go grab your tea, meet you right back here. We got a lot to talk about. Oh my God. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Tea with Carla. I am so glad that you joined me today. We are going to cover quite a bit today because there's a lot of surface level things. And I am kind of like restructuring the show because I come across a lot of people that genuinely topically know what's going on with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and the royal family. And, when I have conversations with them about Harry and Meghan or whatever, William and Catherine, it's like they were just way off. So I follow channels on YouTube because there's some incredible content creators, but I follow them. I know exactly what they're talking about because I'm in it. And so I think my niche is going to be, I have to like give you some baby steps towards some of the information that I'm talking about, because some people just really aren't aware. And so that's what I think I'm going to do. And just bear with me a little bit because I do want to bring some people up to speed. One of my best friends asked me like a question that I was just like, huh? But we're going to get into this Meghan and Harry, not Harry so much, but we're going to talk about Meghan. So Meghan is at it again, rebranding for the fashion world. Okay. Yes, she's rebranding. She's always chasing a new identity, always trying to be whatever she thinks she needs to be in the moment. Her latest push was a front row claim in the fashion world. Calculated, staged, and meticulously poorly executed, Meghan Markle in Paris was a complete and total ridiculous hot mess. Now, I'm not going to sit here and just seem completely biased because she did have some good looks. I have one that I really particularly like. She was dressed in black. You gotta really understand when you're dealing with Meghan Markle. It's not that she just went to this show. She's proving something. She's doing something. It's for something. And it usually is at the expense of others. That's just the way she rolls. All right. Meghan Markle tried to arrive with the fanfare of Hollywood elite to be associated with those of such in that world. Anna Wintour and Balenciaga brand in itself. And I don't forgot the other people that were there, but that was what she was aiming for. And I thought she was supposed to be a mom, a jam maker, an entrepreneur, a podcaster. I thought that that's what she was. But now, she's had this demure look. She's going through Paris wearing designer clothing, and she's doing whatever the hell she was doing. It's just off brand from what we just saw like a few weeks ago. She was literally selling us that disgusting as ever wine, and she was restocking on all of the things that's been sold out for the entire summer. And now she's in Paris, and it's really strange. She's just very bizarre. She's like a chameleon. She likes to just kind of adapt to her environment, and instead of just being authentically who she is who she thinks you want to see. And that's what makes her inauthentic and unrelatable to a lot of people, and that's why we pick her apart. That's why we pick her apart. Meghan craves validity from Hollywood and the people within that world. That's what she looks for. That's what she wants. She thinks that's what makes her relevant. She is looking for a life of luxury. Who isn't? I think I'm not mad at that, to be perfectly honest. I'm looking for a life of luxury. If this blows up, this channel, good Lord, I'll give you a tour of my house when I buy a new one. So, but the problem is that I have an idea that she married Prince Harry for status, not necessarily because of her loving him. Because if it was all about her loving Harry, then none of this stuff that took place over the past 7 years would have taken place. None of it. Because love would have conquered all. She was chasing fame, money, luxury, and she was using Harry as a step stool to get all of those things, because the title she was gifted on her wedding day gave her access to a world in Hollywood that she never had access to. She was within proximity of it, but she did not have access to any of those people until she married Harry and became part of the royal family. Then everybody wanted to know, who is Meghan Markle? And that is just my opinion, but I do believe that I'm spot on with that. When she left the royal family, she thought that she had star power enough to garner and start her own thing over in America. She was able to accomplish a bit, horrendously miscalculated what she was able to do. She trashed the royal family, which even if it wasn't the royal family, it wouldn't have been a good look, because it's just not nice to see anyone publicly go on and trash someone. It's kind of like trash TV. No one likes to see you rattle off and tell private things that happen behind closed doors and put it in books and on documentaries and docuseries, because then how can you be trusted? How can you be trusted? So do you really think that Hollywood is weird in the first place, where a lot of the friendships are just kind of transactional? That's just always the way it's been. Very few friendships within that world are genuine. Some are, but you look at Blake Lively and Taylor Swift. Quickly, Taylor dropped her like a hot potato as soon as, that whole scandal went down with Justin Baldoni. Like, we're not friends. I don't deal with her. They're like, quick, fast, and hurry. That's what they do. That's what they do. So Meghan throwing the royal family under the bus puts up a lot of red flags for people that encounter her, because what happens when she no longer needs you, or what happens when you sever your ties with her, or what have you? What do you think she's going to do? Like when she did their docuseries, when she was talking on the phone, she was reading she wasn't talking on the phone. She was reading a text to Harry that she said she got from Beyonce. And then she read us the text of what Beyonce texted her. And I believe that was a real text. But Beyonce is very private. And I believe that was the line in the sand for Beyonce. It was like, all right, we're done. No, no close-ups, no books, no nothing. Stay away from me, please. She's polite and she's cordial, but I don't believe that Beyonce is like even trying to mess with her anymore just because of that. I wouldn't, because she's a mess. I find her embarking on this fashion world to be a little bit off beat for her, simply because fashion is art. Fashion is creativity. Fashion is not something you could just copycat. Artists in the fashion world create, not copy. And when you look at Meghan Markle, she's like a paint by number copycat of everything. She looks at an icon that she wants to emulate and she takes on that personality, or at least she tries. When it comes to the lifestyle brand, she was trying to do the Gwyneth Paltrow group thing, the Martha Stewart thing. It looks like she's trying to like knock off a little bit of Victoria Beckham because of that demure look and the fashion CEO that she's become of her own fashion brand. She tried to emulate Princess Diana. That was such a ridiculousness about it. And periodically, like, she does things very strange when it comes to Princess Catherine. Like, you'll see Princess Catherine doing one thing, and then similarly, shortly after, you'll see Meghan doing the same thing, which leads me to a question to her fandom and fanfare people. Who is she? I'm going to use a perfect example. The authenticity of, and just be with me on this, Cardi B. I'm not a fan of her music. I'm not. I really not. She has some good music. This album is a banger, though. Am I the Drama is a banger. You know, sometimes some of the best albums that are put out are the ones that are written out of heartbreak, because one of my favorite albums by Mary J. Blige was My Life, and that was when she was going through it. And unfortunately, she was going through it, but she did put out that banging ass album, and I love it. But Cardi B's album is out there right now. It's doing very well. And one thing that I can say about Cardi B, she's the same Cardi B that was on Instagram. She's the same Cardi B that you saw in Love and Hip Hop. And she's the same Cardi B now, who is now worth probably over $100 million. And she's still the same person. She didn't change anything. Well, physically she's changed a lot, but she's still the same foul-mouthed, real, authentic Cardi B that says what she wants. And I love that about her. I love that. It's just, when you watch her, you know she's telling the truth. And that's why she has such a huge fan base, because she's real. She's authentic. And it sticks. It stays. You don't get a different version of Cardi. You get the same version of Cardi, maybe in a different outfit or different color hair, as if that lawyer tried to embarrass her on the stage when she was in court. Oh, you know, what color was she? He was asking about her wigs. Stupid.
Yesterday you had black hair, short hair. Today it's blonde and long. Which one is your real hair? Or are they both real?
They're wigs.
She was like, they're wigs. And it was just so ridiculous. She even had to laugh at that. That was kind of funny. But anyway, Cardi B is a real person. She's a real, authentic person. Meghan, she was not too long ago, a few weeks ago, prancing around her garden, I think, and picking lemons and, you know, dangling her feet from like a little chair. And then she was in her kitchen cooking, and then she was showing us how to use the jam and selling us the wine she was trying to push off on us. As ever, I was dumb enough to buy and taste. It was actually pretty disgusting. I still got it, actually. She made you buy 3 bottles, and I'm quite sure that was a strategy. That was actually pretty brilliant of her, because otherwise there would be so much stock left. She's doing a whole nother reinvention, and it's a noisy pattern with her. It's a noisy pattern. And it comes around like, you know, just be yourself. Now, what I want to talk mostly about is her driving around central Paris, somewhere around the vicinity of where Princess Diana was tragically killed in that car accident. How insensitive. Like, it's fine that you were there. That's not a problem. But, you know your husband has very well documented traumas behind that, as he should. Why do we need to see you in your car, which you said nothing? It wasn't a purpose behind that video. You just showed us in the vehicle, no words, no nothing, and kind of like a location of, you know, Central Paris. You didn't think that would trigger your husband at all? So it makes me wonder, do you even care that it triggered him or could have triggered him? No, I don't think so. I don't think she gave a damn. Which I don't understand how he could be married to someone so insensitive. And I can completely understand why William is disgusted with her. I'm disgusted with her. Truthfully, I lost my parent as a young child. And to be honest, I'm going to share this with you. Trigger warning. So it's believed that my father was unalived, okay? So there's a town that this occurred in. I live in the same state still. I live not too far from that town. But whenever I'm in the area and I have to go through that town or should go through that town because there's a main road, a main highway road that you could use to get to many other places that I navigate through when I'm doing things. I find that I go around that town, and it's not because I'm like, just I can't handle it. It's just I just don't want to drive through it. Because there's sometimes I have driven through there because you can't help it sometimes. I have driven through there and then I had questions and I'm driving and I'm thinking. It's trauma. It's trauma. So why in the world would you post, Meghan Markle, a video of yourself near the area of where Princess Diana was killed? Why would you post that video? There was no purpose of that other than you being absolutely abhorrent. There was no reason. And honestly, I think that makes her a horrible human being. So this humanitarian award that they're receiving soon, humanitarian award for what? Your dad was literally just stuck on a 19th floor of a high rise in the Philippines, and he was stuck and could not get out, and you did nothing. Nothing. However, you're going to get a humanitarian award of the year for what? When you did nothing for your own father. That means that you paid for that award. You don't really care about humanity or people, because if you cared about it, I don't care. Listen, family is family. Every family has dysfunction. Every last one of them. My family has dysfunction. But this is your dad stuck in a high rise, this elderly man, and you did nothing, but you're going to receive a humanitarian award. I hope there's someone there to protest that award, and I hope they have posters that talks about that, because that's just absolutely insane to me. Performance without personhood is what we see with Meghan all the time. That's just who we see with her. She's always putting on a performance. She's always looking for the camera, wants to make sure you get the right angle. She's, you ever see some celebrities and they get caught by the paparazzis. It's like they're kind of walking by and they got their hand up. They don't want to be bothered. And, they're trying to scurrying off. Meghan's always like, but then in Paris, she's just like, it just was so bizarre. But anyway, if she ever showed her real self, which I think she's actually pretty much a mean girl. There's nothing wrong with that either, by the way. She's a mean girl. She can actually use it to her advantage, because, sometimes women that are entrepreneurs or business owners do get mislabeled as that. But she can certainly be very nuanced in showing that the directness and being clear and having certain demands is what's required, and it's misinterpreted in a lot of ways. Like Martha Stewart was exactly the same way. A lot of people that do know Martha Stewart say she was a bear to work with, and she never denied that. She's very meticulous, but she was able to get over that because she was very specific with what she wanted, which was how she became the billionaire that she is and as successful as she is. I'd love to see the messy, human, funny, off the cuff Meghan without the performance, and just to see who she is. I don't even think Harry knows who she is, and I think he's finding out, and that's really sad, because she put on a performance for Harry, and you can't put on a performance 24/7. You just can't. And so now that he's starting to see, in my opinion, the real person that he married, he was actually not wise enough to protect himself in a lot of ways. So he's pretty much trapped here, because if they were to split, where's he going? Because he burned every bridge back to his heritage. And not to mention, they have children here, one born in the United States, one born in England. So he's kind of stuck. He's kind of stuck. He has, unfortunately, not a lot of options. But you know what? That's the bed that he made for himself. I don't have much sympathy for that because if, as a grown woman, if I'm going to marry somebody at this point in my life, I'm not going to pick up and move into your house and leave all of what I've accomplished for myself behind and just trust that everything's going to work out. I'd like it to, but I need to protect myself. I need to protect that if it doesn't work out, what am I going to do? I'm going to move back home. How am I going? Am I going to have the ability to do that? You know, I need to make sure certain things are in place. Harry did none of those things. He literally took the freedom flight and had no parachute. And unfortunately, he's stuck in that plane with Meghan, and it's just a really nasty ride, and it looks like it's headed to a disaster for them. And I think he knows that, but he has to ride it. He has to ride it. That's the bet he made, and that's just what it is. She wants us to think that she's perfect. We know she's not perfect. Nobody is. People connect to reality, even if it divides. Authenticity is the only look that lasts. Meghan's problem is that she believed that happiness lies in luxury and fame and status. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. That's what she believes happiness is.
When those things came, the happiness wasn't there, and I realized why that was. There was such an attempt to achieve these things and to keep going that you lose sight of the people and the blessings that you have around you.
I've also had been working on my own personal self, like different qualities and doing self-reflection. Like I just had happiness everywhere. My friends, my relationships, just being able to have great conversation with friends here and there. It was a very good, I'm in a good place in my life. If Meghan realizes that happiness is not the mansion, it helps. I'm not gonna lie. It does help. But if she realizes that happiness is within, then it will start to show. Honestly, I usually never comment about the looks of someone. Allergies, sorry. So the sniffling and all of that. What I will say about her recent trip to Paris is that when I looked in her face, it looked a bit gaunt, sunken in, and just a little frail and almost as if not all is well. You know, when you look at she was glowing because of the Vaseline. Don't get it twisted. She was glowing. Her face looked like slicked. But as far as like her personally, her aura, she just wasn't glowing, as if she's going through something. She's not. I can promise you that she's not genuinely happy. And that's not nice. I would love for her to be happy. And I believe a lot of that will start if she starts mending the fences with some relationships that she let go. I mean, maybe you might really start with her dad, you know, even with Harry, or the royal family, or the British people, or the friends that she dropped along the way. There's so many things that she can do. I mean, it's a hard pill to swallow, though, when you're on a path of redemption and reconciliation and trying to do the right thing. But it's an honorable journey, and people that see you attempting it and being authentic about it, that's pretty huge. And I think that would actually be a very good show for them on Netflix, where she can identify the flaws and identify the things that she did and did not do, that she wished that she didn't do, or that she wishes that she did do, and then go about it. I'd watch that. I'd watch that. I would love to see her character arc do like a full circle. But she keeps wandering around this earth like she's God's gift, and, you know, like wearing a mask and just acting like everything is everything. And it is just like, I don't understand what is on her mind. I really kind of feel sorry for her. She has everything she wants, probably not everything she wants, but almost everything she wants materialistically, but internally that person is not a happy person. And, you know, everyone deserves happiness. I hope she finds it one day.